right, guys, what's up? Welcome to the new podcast, Dropshipping with No Bullshit. Here we have introduce yourself.
All right, everybody. My name is Tom Cormier, also known as eCom Tom on YouTube and Instagram and wherever else you find me.
Yeah, so if you're looking at this on YouTube, I'll put the link in the description. But yeah, so Tom, so let me introduce who I think Tom is, and then we'll get into this, right? So like, Tom and I belong to this fucked up community on the internet of dropshippers, and not just like outside of us being content creators and teachers and like, as Paul Lipsky would say, thought leaders. We belong this whole space. We belong to this weird space on the internet of Facebook groups, YouTube channels, Instagram accounts of people drop shipping on multiple platforms. And I think one of the more popular form in the internet marketing world of drop shipping is Shopify drop shipping. Yeah. And Tom is one of the thought leaders in the eBay, Amazon drop shipping world. So we're doing this recording remotely, but I've met Tom in person. He's been here to Nicaragua. We've worked together. We've partied together. I use, yeah, right? Some amazing times. I use my team who does the Amazon Done For You just did the training your Amazon training, Tom. And we use some of his strategies with what we do with the Done For You. So if you want to get that course, if you're on YouTube, I'll put that link in the description also. But yeah, Tom is like, so you studied, I studied mathematics. I feel like you're like an engineer. You're in the science spaces, like education-wise. And I think that is why that's why we kind of get along. And a lot of how we see drop shipping and approach it, I think comes from that like education, in my opinion, right? But yeah.
The majority of what I do is try to break it down and like just mathematically. It's everything's going to have a profit margin or sales per month or anything like that. The one thing I would say is eBay is kind of more of an art sometimes than Amazon would be.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just did a video the other day where I took down like 60 listings and I wanted to run an experiment, and I relisted that had never sold and no watchers, and they had been up for at least 45 days minimum. Some of them 2 months, some of them almost 90 days, I believe. And I took down 60 of them and I listed 25 of them back up. And I was going to do an experiment with the other like 40. And out of those 25, it was like 7 got watchers on them in the first like 15 days, and like 6 of them sold, I think.
Yeah, but that's still a scientific process in the sense that like you're testing, right?
But then how to understand eBay is more of like the art, I would say. It just doesn't make sense. But with Amazon, like if an item's going to sell, it's going to sell, and you know it's going to sell.
Right. Okay. So that experiment that you just talked about, right?
Yeah.
And you said you don't know if it's going to sell. Okay. What was the conclusion? What was the assumption or the thesis? And then what was the conclusion?
Or were you just basically that you cannot predict what's going to happen with eBay, whether it was rainy out that day or cloudy when you listed the item or anything like that. You have no idea. And I mean, you can have a certain idea where maybe the item that you sniped it from somebody had sold 10 times in the last 30 days. That's probably better than an item that had sold 1 time in the last 30 days. But still, since everything on eBay is your own individual listing still for the most part, it's very hard to be able to tell what's going to happen instead of on Amazon where you're just hopping on a listing with somebody else. So the conclusion was you really can't tell what's going to happen, and you might as well at least give it a shot because out of, like I said.
I've never ran that experiment. I've thought about it. And I was looking for a different conclusion, and you proved. So I think from that experiment, you could give more value to the new listings tag that you get when you list an item.
Yeah, that's one of the main things.
Because like I personally, like, I don't know if you, I can't remember if you do, or I don't know if you still do it, but a lot of my listings have been old, so they rank. But I know people who their strategy is only to list like one of an item and it's not good till canceled, so it goes out of stock. And their strategy is solely around that shit, that new listing thing. And Amazon doesn't have that.
Yeah, no, it doesn't have that. I mean, when you think about it, though, if you're listing on Amazon, it's just so much more of a concrete.
Yeah, it's straight from, it's a grid. It's like,
and you don't have to care how many items you have up because you're not paying for how many items. I mean, you do have to care, make sure that all the brands are okay, so you're not listing a brand that you're not allowed to. But with eBay, it's just so much more time consuming with the listing and the taking down and the hoping that this could work or seeing if this works.
Okay, now it's serious. Yeah.
Said.
Yeah. Because there's not, with eBay, there's a lot more variables. And what is funny, I think you could easily make a lot more money with Amazon. But I personally like the amount of variables in eBay and all the fucking chaotic. It's a chaotic environment. I think it's just, exactly. I think eBay is a lot more fun. It may not be the best financial decision because I think you can make more money on Amazon. But I think eBay is a lot more fun with all the variables. And then what do you think? Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say that I at least am making probably over double the amount of money on Amazon than on eBay this month with about the same amount of listings. And I mean, it's different suppliers, so that it's not like a constant across both platforms. But I mean, the Amazon sales are just wild. It's not uncommon to see items that sell 100, 200 times a month.
Right. And then be able to compete and sell the fucking item.
Yeah. I mean, I sold one item on Amazon. I did a video on it. It was a turkey fryer. I sold it 338 times the month of June on Amazon.
In June, that turkey fryer bullshit. Yeah, our whole Amazon journey last year started with turkey fryers.
Yeah.
Do you know that? Like last year, we started the same shit with turkey fryers.
Yeah, I may have hopped on one of the listings that you were on then.
Maybe. I don't know. Like I know one of the done for you accounts sells a turkey fryer. I know that for sure.
I mean, we may be selling the same item. I hopped off the item, but I mean, so we're not.
Why? Because it was too competitive?
It was just one of the items one of it was just getting damaged the whole time when it was getting sent. So there's too many complaints about it. I'm very cautious on Amazon. I don't like to take anything that could possibly be an issue on. I always delete an item if it's going to cause any issues. If people are complaining about it, I will not hesitate. There's no lack of sales on Amazon. You don't have to worry about that. Like you can go find
exactly
just as good or a couple items that are just as good. With eBay, I'm a little bit more lenient. I definitely still sell that item on eBay.
So I agree with you there. I'm more lenient on eBay, but what I'm afraid of, so Amazon is like super stringent on the sellers because they only care about buyers, and we could fit that mold because there's no shortage of sales on Amazon. What I'm afraid of is that eBay wants to go in that direction, and there is a shortage of sales on eBay. So like, we would be forced to play that fucking, because we are with that fucking the fall update, right? Like you could tell they're going in that direction with the item specifics and all the bullshit, right? So I knew we would end up in that direction. I just didn't want it to happen. Like it's inevitable.
I mean, even over the last year, obviously they've been talking about this, the EPID or the buy box type equivalent that Amazon has, the product-based listing, I think they're calling it.
Right, exactly.
They've been talking about that for like a year and a half. That's pretty much the same as Amazon. The item-specific requirements, they're even more strict in some ways, where if you have a high rate of returns on a specific category, you're going to get hit with extra fees in that category and other things.
Right.
Like Amazon, I think, will probably never penalize people for too many returns because they encourage returns so much that it's like I don't know. I mean, Amazon can do whatever they want, so I can't say.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm afraid of eBay. I always refer to eBay as a fucking flea market. And then when this CEO resigned a couple months ago, like that is I didn't post a video yet, but I did a video about that because I think that is telling, like, because CEOs don't just resign, especially not a $1 billion company.
I mean, I've heard that. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be more the young kids are taking over from what I've been hearing. So who knows? Maybe they want to take Amazon on head first, but I doubt it'll happen very.
But they don't even know what the fuck they're doing. There's so many. Like, first of all, this is a big, like, it's a $1 billion company, right? We've seen fucking when they like make changes and then take them back. Like, who does? Remember, Preston and I talked about this in the last podcast that I didn't post yet, right? We talked about, remember when they said that you can't use watermarks on the images?
You still can't, I don't think.
Exactly. Look at your reaction.
I've never
heard Amazon.
I do it.
No, me too. But I see a ton of drop shippers with watermarks, and they don't seem to be penalized. And this is like,
yeah, nobody.
6 months or a year in. If Amazon made a change like that, there would be no fucking question.
Oh yeah, I mean, they'd have like a very robust. They'd have a very robust system that would go through and would catch you. Where eBay is just like, we're trying not to do it, but we're not going to make anything that's really going to be able to find you doing it. So
right. And then when, like, I don't know how long you been drop shipping? 2-3 years, right?
Over 2 now, yeah.
Right. I don't know. There was one time that neutral feedback used to affect your seller standard.
Oh, that's interesting.
So that was an update, and like 6 months in, it just went away. Like,
I don't know. I was selling on eBay a while ago, but it wasn't like actually drop shipping or having quantity of sales. It was more just for fun and just fun things to do on the weekend.
But that was not when you were doing the cell phone stuff.
I mean, I was even selling on it before then. I was just on my mom's account and stuff.
Just selling stuff.
Yeah, just leftover things around the house that I can make money off of.
So what is it? So you've been drop shipping for 2.5 years. You have the YouTube channel. You're doing the eBay thing. You did Amazon. You did the Amazon course. What's the plan? Like, what's the plan for your drop shipping business? How are you weighting eBay to Amazon? And then what is the plan moving forward with training and so on?
So yeah, we did the whole mastered eBay, I would say. And then after the huge update of the beginning of 2019, I mean, we kind of had to kick it in a high gear to get everything redone, revamped,
right. But that's the thing. I don't think you could master eBay. I don't think mastering eBay is a thing because we just mastering it and then wait until they fuck us again.
Yeah, I mean, it temporarily mastered it. And then went on to Amazon. I had been doing Amazon in the background for the last year. So I really tried to refine my skills and pretty much take what I started doing on eBay now with more obscure suppliers, less of the mainstream Amazon onto eBay, Walmart onto eBay, Walmart onto Amazon. Try to get away from
You need to stay the fuck away from Walmart to Amazon, but we'll talk about that in a second.
I got one little where they contacted me about a Better Homes and Gardens item, and they said, this is back in May, and they said like, oh, can you show me proof that you're allowed to sell this item? And I was like, oh, dude, I'm fucked. So I went to Walmart. I bought like a broke ass version of that item that wasn't even the same item, but if you look at the receipt, it says just like Better Homes and Gardens. Like it doesn't say the exact name of the item on it. I took a picture of it literally the day that they asked me, and I sent in the receipt, and I was like, yeah, I bought this on clearance, as you can tell, because it was way cheaper because it wasn't the same item, and just wanted to make a quick buck on it. And then they're like, okay, sounds good. I was like, oh, thank you. I got rid of all my Walmart items. I was like, I'm going somewhere else.
They're playing a very fucked up game now with you get away with it a little more on like a season account, But on a brand new account, they'll shut your shit down immediately.
Yeah, I've definitely been seeing that happen more. So yeah, after that, I mean, personally, I don't know what I want to do with dropshipping after this. I don't know if I want to get into Shopify. I don't know if I will. But definitely want to go more of taking my very successful items that are on Amazon, buy those in bulk, and either fulfill them
You
myself.
think so?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the margins are higher. My roommate's Jason, he's been doing it. And I mean, he's been making a lot higher of a margin than he would. Either start fulfilling it myself, just to something to get me out of the house, honestly, and something just more hands-on, I would say. And so do that. Possibly start sending things into FBA, and then from there, I mean, I really want to start working on my own like real estate website. That has nothing to do with dropshipping at all. And I've been seeing so many things of it's basically dropshipping houses where you acquire a lead. It's called wholesaling in the
Yeah. Roman, that's funny. Roman is doing that now.
Yeah, so that's what I really want to start doing, and I've seen a lot of people make some pretty crazy websites out there that are basically just like a landing page for a course or for anything, but it's literally for people selling you their house, and then you get a bunch of leads, you lowball them, you hope that they accept it, and then you just have
get a contract. Yeah.
So I mean, that's what I kind of want to start getting into more. But I mean, Amazon's going very well right now. I'd say probably like $8,000 profit this month with like less than 700 items, I would say. And you know, eBay's around 50 something thousand in sales at like 10%.
So when you listen those on a strategy side, right? When you listen those 700 items or 900 items or 1,000 items, are you worried about being the cheapest or no?
So I mean, are you talking about eBay or Amazon?
Amazon.
So on Amazon, I just have my repricer informed, set up to go down to whatever my lowest acceptable percentage is. And then I have my highest acceptable percentage. And I know that when I'm listing these items, I always make sure that I'm listing from a supplier that I know I can compete on. Like if you're listing Walmart onto Amazon, but you're not, then you can't compete, and you should know that. So there's really no point in even listing the item. You're never going to sell it. So, but I make sure that with my suppliers that I'm using, I mean, they're on SKU Grid, they're on Web Scraper app. So, I mean, it's not like they're completely random that I went out there and just like got these secret suppliers. They're there, and they're everybody can find them.
Right.
Yeah, just make sure that I see people selling these items that are clearly from this supplier because it's like their name, it's their private label brand. And I'm like, how the hell do they have it so cheap? So then I just do like a deep search, a deep dive into that website, contact them, call their customer support, figure out what this person that's on Amazon is doing and like what's their secret tricks. And that's just pretty much what I do. I just like pick apart their website and figure it out. Because every website, you realize over time, has like a secret program or something out there that isn't really just given to the public right off the bat. But if you search deep enough, you'll find it.
What do you mean? What do you mean a secret program?
Like if you think about it, where some will have, if you're a member, like think of Overstock with the O Club or whatever it's called.
Right.
Most people don't know that. If you're just starting with Overstock, you know, because you're not searching their website. Other suppliers will have, if you sign up for a certain amount of money per month, you'll get free shipping on every single item. So maybe these items wouldn't make any sense to sell if you didn't have free shipping, but now that you do, now you're making money. So it's all like little things like that people won't look through the website. Or I always get tax exempt. If it doesn't say tax exempt on the website, you have to think about it legally. Companies have to provide tax exemption. There's churches out there, there's government organizations out there that buy things that are legally, you have to be tax exempt for it. So if you call the right person, you're going to figure it out. So it's kind of just doing the things that other people won't do.
That's funny. No, that's funny you said that, because that's where I have found every bit of success in dropshipping. Like just from like making our own software to doing certain margins to figuring out how to move $30,000 in Bitcoin a day to get a ton of gift cards. Like
it's all just, if there's a will, there's a way. And I've realized if somebody else is doing it, I'm confident in my ability to also find what they're doing and replicate it. And it's
right. Exactly.
Like reinventing the wheel here. I'm finding what somebody else has already found. And kind of just exploiting it.
I think one thing I think I could never do that you do is have employees remotely.
Oh yeah,
Like
I love that.
Yeah, I have too much of a control problem to be able to. I already can't sleep. I have to fucking now figure out how to sleep with these motherfuckers on the other side of the world.
We thought about getting an in-person secretary recently, so I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, it's definitely a thought, but it's definitely more expensive than if we were in Nicaragua or somewhere else.
Well, yes.
I find like a high school kid or something.
And where are you all now? Where are you right now?
We're in Nevada. It's Nevada. If you ever pronounce it Nevada, you'll get yelled at. I found that out many a times the hard way. And we're in Nevada, Reno.
Really? When did you move out there?
August 17th, I believe.
Do you like it?
It's not bad. It's kind of the same as Colorado.
Is weed legal out there?
Yeah, weed is legal. It's pretty much the same, except for like if you go downtown, there's like 25 casinos. It's
yeah, you in Reno?
Everywhere.
Reno, you can get if you ever want to if you have nothing to do, you can get really cheap limos in Reno.
I'm sure you can. There's really
there's
not much going on here. It's like they call it Reno Tahoe. Like this is like the big area of Lake Tahoe. Lake Tahoe is like 45 minutes away. There's not much going on in the city when you have to conjoin it with the biggest, most popular tourist destination probably on the West Coast when you're still like an hour to 45 minutes away from like even getting to the closest limit.
I lived in Vegas for like 6 months.
I would definitely, I wanted to move there, but you don't always get what you want.
I don't know. So I lived in Vegas for 6 months playing poker. I lived in a hotel.
Yeah, I could easily see doing that.
Who? See me doing that?
I could see myself doing that.
Yeah, that's fucking. But I don't think I could. I mean, I'm older now. I could never do that shit again.
No, it's definitely one of my best friends from college moved to Las Vegas, and he was the one that I was like, if anybody's gonna go overboard in Vegas, it's him. And he lived like off the strip about 10 minutes, and he said, you wouldn't even know that you're in Vegas really if you're off the strip.
Yeah, if you're off the strip, you can live you can live in a residential and live a normal life.
And it's the same thing here. We've only been to the casino once. You have to literally go out of your way to go there. And I mean,
well, I lived in a hotel, so I would just come down and
that could be an issue.
I won a lot of money in that 6 months, but I spent all of it. Like I left Vegas with no fucking money. I spent all of it. I left Vegas with enough gas to get back to Maryland.
That's the city to do it in. That's definitely.
But it is a really, I would never. There's no amount of money I would trade for that 6 months. The level of huh?
I tell my buddies that I moved to Nevada, and they're like, "Oh yeah, maybe we should go to Vegas and something." Literally, it's a 7.5 hour drive from where I am.
Yeah. Reno is like we are
close
there.
At all. It's not anywhere close, remotely close. Like I could fly there, but it's not just something I'm going to do all the time.
Yeah. LA would be closer to Vegas than you are, no?
What is LA?
Yeah, driving from LA to Vegas, I don't think. Yeah. And so back to, you were saying you would make $8,000 this month on Amazon. What are your margins like? Are you the same 10%? Is it more? What do you play?
Higher.
Really?
I found a couple good suppliers. One of the main ones right now that I'm exploiting. There's probably only 4 to 5 people that are selling it like very high capacities on Amazon. And I pretty much figured out what they were doing. And I think the average for that supplier is like 28%.
Jesus.
But the item price is very low. So it's the average item price where before I was doing maybe like 15% and then the average item price is like $150, $200. So you're making a lot of money with very little sales. Right now, the average item price is like, I think it's $16. So a lot of it. Yeah, I'm sure you probably know.
Yeah, I'm not going to say what it is only because so I was just thinking about, I was just telling Tony this yesterday. Because we have like all these done for you accounts now, I could literally, like one day we would have we would have like a Home Depot day, right? Or like where the entire the entire Amazon team only sources from that, just to see if you have 20 people digging up in one site, you like find more things. And what you just said about the lower price items, one of the dudes downstairs, he found like 2 or 3 items, and they were like $20, $30 items, a couple like $12. And then the entire team downstairs spent the day on that supplier. And then I was like, what the fuck? So the margins, I am not at 28%.
I mean, I wasn't expecting to be either. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
It's just something that I just went with. I even had SKU Grid make me, because they're on SKU Grid. I had SKU Grid make me a special like part of their software to help me use this supplier. And
Right.
I mean, that's when I started really thinking like I should just be making my own software, have somebody make my software for me.
Yeah, you can't. That's the only way. That's the only, like even, okay, so like even, I have DSGenie for eBay, right? And I use the data from there to dropship on Amazon.
Yeah. I mean, I could see the benefits of it.
It's bizarre. Like so if I order all the sales that went through DSGenie coming from like Home Depot or something that's sold on eBay, that's just a head start of a list that I'll start checking on Amazon, right?
Yeah. One thing that I never thought of this, and I feel like an idiot for realizing this recently, because you were talking about how you guys use eCom solutions, I believe. And I was just looking at some of their videos on the owner, Jason O'Neill, I think his name is. I've never talked to him, but he has some videos on YouTube.
I'm supposed to have him on the podcast as well.
Yeah, he seems like a cool guy. And I'm
Super
on his
cool.
email list. And he was just like, oh, by the way, like the magic is all in the UPC. And then I was like,
Yep.
I feel like such an idiot. Holy shit. I was like, wow. But I just got a contract with a wholesale supplier that has like 100,000 SKUs. And I was like, can you give me a list with all of your SKUs and all the UPCs? Like, I'm just going to set it up with a VA and just go ham on it.
That's funny that you bring.
Like my brain didn't think that way. And
Really?
you know that this was a thing? And he was like,
That's why you should have fucking. Okay, once you play in the software game, you'll see a lot of that shit a lot quicker.
That's what I'm realizing.
Like way quicker. Because when we finish,
all the other software I use too, like to show it, like the scraping softwares I use and things like that. And I was like, oh, I feel like an idiot.
And when we built the DSGenie for Amazon, that was a big part of it, having all these UPC databases, and that's why we didn't sell it.
Yeah, I could see the value in it.
Because I remember when I showed Matt Gamble it, he was like, you can't sell that. And I was going to be an asshole and sell it. And then I was like, okay, no, maybe not.
It was definitely quite the realization. I was like, okay.
So you're going to spend, so do you spend half your time eBay, half your time Amazon now or no?
eBay, I mean, I've been doing eBay for so long, and my VAs that work for my eBay store have been working with me for over 2 years for some of them. One of them almost 2 years. So it's
automated for the most part.
Sure, things have changed over time, but it's not like it's 100% flipped upside down in the last 2 years. So it's pretty much automated where I just have to deal with a little bit every day, maybe like 30 minutes. I sometimes I'll go like 3 days without checking and then do like an hour of work. And then for Amazon, it's more because Amazon's just, there's so much out there. So I could spend a whole day just looking at new suppliers myself. And the one time you find one good supplier, like what I'm using right now, then you have yourself literally a better than an engineer's salary in a year's time. So you have to think about it in that respect. But also, I mean, if I don't want to do anything, that's pretty much automated as well. All the orders. I've been trying to get into some heavy automation, which definitely I feel like isn't for everybody, but like some real heavy automation where if you're pushing out this much volume, like average sale price of $16 and you're doing like $1,500 in sales a day at 28% margin,
that's crazy.
It needs more automation, I would say. Like tracking every single order to make sure it's actually delivered and stuff like that, because there's just so many things that can fall through the cracks at that many.
Yeah, because I do higher ticket, 100. I think my Amazon store, the average price is $200. My personal store.
That way, but hey, times change.
Yeah. You have to change, but it's a game you're playing. Like you're doing the so I have like 3 or 4 done for your accounts that do like the game that you're playing with the extra research and using obscure suppliers and all that stuff. I have some that we play in the gift card game. The gift card game is cool, but like we have to turn it off and on because moving a lot of money into Bitcoin to buy gift cards. When I say a lot of money, like $20,000-$30,000 a day, banks are not playing that, not really like happy about that. So like, yeah, dude. And then we had to figure certain things out. That game is interesting because the margins are there and you don't need a lot. Like I'm talking about like selling $100,000 a month with like 80 listings. You know what I mean? So,
I mean, I was doing with a different supplier that came back and actually bit me in the ass because they told me like, we don't want you dropshipping our items on Amazon, but we're not going to come after you. And I was like, sounds good to me. I had like 130 items up of their items. I was doing like 15% margin, no gift cards, no anything. And yeah, at the beginning of August, I was doing like 50,000 in sales on par to like 60, 70. Right. I had like another 200 listings ready to go up. And on the beginning of August, they hit me with like 4 copyright violations for their images. And I was like, well, if I keep selling their items, they're going to keep doing it. So I kind of just stopped.
But were you just jumping on someone else's listing?
Yeah, I was. But it was literally, that company reported me because the notification you've been reported or whatever, here's the email that you should contact. It was them. And it turned out actually that we have a student in our eBay course and she's an industrial engineer. She does logistics and stuff for them. So she worked for that supplier and she was like, oh yeah, I was going to let you guys know that I heard something about them like cracking down on people on Amazon. I was like, what the hell? Like,
what shit is that?
So I took all my listings down in August and then my mom came and visited and then I moved out to Nevada and then I went home for my buddy's wedding. So I kind of just turned my store off for like 25, 30 days. And then we made the Amazon course came out October 1st. So that was like, I didn't really want the store going at full throttle then because I was just working like 16.
And when you make the changes, how long we've been on this? For like 40 minutes? Okay. All right, yeah. When you make the changes, like when eBay changes and you have to make changes on your business, does that stress you out? And then how do the students respond to that shit as well?
You'd have to be, I don't know, some sort of saint to not get stressed out about it. But it's kind of like, I always feel, like I said earlier, if there's a will, there's a way. It's just you need to figure it out. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to be fun at all. But you have to also think about there's so many people out there that aren't going to take the time to put the time in to figure it out. So if you figure it out, then first off, you can then remake your course and then probably. Yeah,
but you must have. I love the change. That's a fucked up thing. I'm always waiting for the changes.
Don't get me wrong. I don't mind the changes, but the big change of like completely automated software to the complete opposite of it that happened at the beginning of the year, that was at least a little bit of a stressful.
Okay, so I think at the beginning of the conversation, when you said eBay is an art and not a science, I wasn't too sure if I agreed with you 100%, but I agree with you there because since we started building DSGNI, I always made the conscious decision not to spend too much more time and money with automated stuff because that always freaked me out because that's not what eBay is like built for. And I used to say that in videos like back in the day, right? And like everyone used to look at me like I'm crazy. And sometimes I used to be like, Mark, you sure you you sure you're right? And then it just kind of turned out that like they actually made decisions to crack down, right?
And it's just so weird because sure, they came out and said, all right, no retail arbitrage. You can't be doing this. Stop dropshipping with automated softwares. It's been in their API agreement for years.
Right.
I remember when I first started, Jack Pittman had a video out that was talking about it. And it was back when everybody was still doing this. And if you think about it, SKUGrid now has the ability, and I've yet to update this in my course, but I use SKUGrid now. They have the Chrome extension that you drop down and you can reprice your items with the Chrome extension. They have the ability now that you can reprice everything, upload things through the eBay API or the eBay file exchange token, which is this this long of a paragraph of random letters and numbers and symbols that you just throw into SKUGrid. Now all of a sudden everything's good and gravy. And I was like,
yeah, but we've been doing that forever. DS Genie and Pricing Genie has that shit.
And I'm like, that's legitimately the same thing, minus just the way the API or the file exchange. But it's pretty much the same.
It's the same thing, but they could stop it. They could stop that also. But they also have to play this fucked up game of how much people they want to stop because they don't sell anything.
You also have to realize that big companies like, I don't think Target still sells on eBay.
No.
If back in the day, how were they managing?
Exactly.
They had to have had a software. There's no way you can do that. Yeah, you can have one VA or a team of Target just has a team of VAs behind the scene manually changing their prices up and down. This is not how it works.
Right, but that's eBay's problem in the sense that Amazon could be strict because if all the sellers disappear, they will just sell everything, right? eBay can't because eBay doesn't have the infrastructure to sell. So like I think that's why we'll get away with this eBay dropshipping thing for a very long time. It's just that
I don't know what they're calling it. What was it, like the FBA equivalent of on eBay? Did you read about that?
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to be something that if you get into real early, you can make a lot of money. I feel like whenever anything's brand new,
once you figure it out early, you make a lot more. But I'm also not, remember, eBay is now getting into a logistics business to kind of compete with Amazon to an extent. I don't even know if they figure their shit out. I'll try it, obviously, right? But I'm just skeptical about eBay doing anything properly.
And they're just renting from some other conglomerate throughout the United States or something. I don't know. Yeah.
You think so?
I don't know what's going on with them.
We'll see what happens. But yeah, we are going to, one of the future podcasts, we're going to review your course.
Okay. I'm down. I need to update some of the eBay course, just add more things to it.
No, not the eBay. The Amazon is the one I was going to review.
Oh, that one's fresh out the womb. So.
Yeah, exactly. And we did that. So we'll put a link to, if you guys on YouTube, we'll put a link to the course so you can go check it out.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, that one, that I just started making videos. And one thing with the eBay course is I was like counting the videos I made and I had everything set up. But the Amazon course, I was like, as making videos, I'm like, I need to make more videos. Like this needs to be said. This needs to be more depth.
Right.
Everything. And by the end of it, we were just so burnt out. And I was like, a week later, I counted. And I was like, there's literally like 84 videos and almost 16 hours of content here. I was like, who would listen to me for that long? Jeez.
I'm thinking about doing remember I did the eBay Inner Circle last year. And Matthew did the Amazon Inner Circle with us for a little while. But I'm thinking about doing the Amazon Circle because like what we've seen, like with the Amazon accounts, we've gone through like all type of shit with the done for you stuff, like trying all the different strategies. But even like on the customer service side, getting accounts back, appealing stuff. We have appeal letters that work. We've paid other companies to do like 1 or 2 appeals just to compare. So I think we learned a.
What about Auction Sentinel? Have you heard about them or used them at all? All right.
I've used them.
I would think that they would want to make money. It just doesn't seem like they want to make money. I contacted them. I'm like, hey, I've heard decent things about you. I've heard people that have gotten stealth accounts from them that have worked.
But I think a lot of their services stop working and they just don't want to say anything yet.
All right. Well, I contacted them like, hey,
Because, like,
I'm
I've
on a
used-
course. I want to partner with you guys. And they're like, yeah, we'll call you. And then
And they never called.
Never called. The next day, I'm like, hey, I want to partner with you guys. Call me. Oh yeah, we'll call you. And like after
That's funny that you brought that up. So I used them last year for a couple of things. They worked great. I tried to use them recently, paid them the fucking money, and still waiting. And like today, I got an email from one of the employees asking me for a job. Like today. Like hopefully no one has Action Centers listens to this. Or maybe they are.
I can give a fuck.
They're gonna go fuck themselves.
Yeah, but today, this dude messaged me. He's like, hey, I know you're an old client of ours. I know you manage multiple accounts. I know you have YouTube. And then I responded. Right before we jumped on this, I responded like, oh, interesting. How much money you trying to make? How many hours? And his response was like, I'm not in a position to negotiate. Let's just get in a call and get me to start working. So that just gives me insight that like maybe they're not offering the services anymore.
No, based off their responsibility, no, it doesn't seem like they're doing anything.
Yeah, it
I
doesn't.
need to find a replacement.
Let me know what services you need because we've had to create accounts. We've had to appeal stuff. And like,
I'm just trying to get everything as like good as possible for my students. Cause I know when you put out a course, obviously, or even a service like what you're doing, you know that you can't be an expert in everything with Amazon with it.
no, you can't.
It's just how
Well-
it is.
Well, you can, but the only way you can is the madness that I'm doing.
Yeah. And it's just, you have to be hit with everything in order and actually succeed on getting everything undone in order to.
So you do realize we've been doing this for it's November, so about a little over a year, right? We were managing a couple Amazon accounts for like 6-7 months, and then we offered the service like in November last year. So we've been managing a lot, and the level of fucking madness that we've gone through, and the number of problems we have solved, like I've corrected an appeal letter that I got from Auction Sentinel.
I could see that.
You know what I mean? But you have to have like a real, like now I'm confident about Amazon and managing accounts and all this shit. But you have to have the stomach of a champion to fucking go through the suspensions and appealing and the fear of having money tied up for 90 days. Like now we're out.
It's like I just try to run my account as safely as possible. I've yet to get banned. I've yet to really get very many IP violations. I think maybe.
Right. But I'll give you an example, right? The fucked up thing about the done for you stuff is two things. One, people expect you to get, like, we had one dude that came from a Nusha service. The account got to us with a 1.2 ODR, like 6 fucking IP violations, and like the thing said it's close to being shut down. And the dude was like, well, I paid you 15 grand. Here's the account. And I'm just like, this is like a year ago, right? I'm just like, dude, the fuck? And like, we got the account down to like 0.5 something. It still got suspended. We appealed it and got it back out. But like, shit like that is one thing with your personal. Remember, some of these guys who come with it done for you have brand new accounts, know a little bit, and then, have seasons account that are good and just give us because they don't want to do the work. Some people also come because they fucked up and they want you to fix their bullshit.
Yeah.
So it's a whole fucking. And then when we finally get the accounts open, they connect it to the old mistake, and then be like, yeah, but dude, this account was open before, and then they're pretending like they don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
That's always how it is. Oh no, it wasn't me.
Yeah, I don't know who's Marco27, and this motherfucker's name is Marco.
You probe a little bit deeper, and you're like, okay, it was you. Yeah.
Yeah, same address. But yeah, I
had a student on eBay the other day. Not to call anyone out. If he's listening to it, he probably knows who he is. And he was just like, he got flagged on eBay. You can clearly tell his promoted listings down to nothing. Like he's not making sales anymore. And I was like, did you connect any software to it? He goes, no. and everything seemed to be like, oh wow, like maybe they're just flagging accounts now. Like here it goes. This was like a year ago when this started. Maybe it's just a yearly cycle. And I was slightly worried, and then eventually he goes, yeah, I mean they did ban me twice, and then after the second ban they flagged me. I'm like, you don't think that after you got banned for the second time they maybe looked at what you were doing a little bit deeper? And I was like, all right, stop this. We're just gonna flag you. And then that's exactly what happened. And he was like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Like, why did you get banned? He was like, well, it was like some item that was like a Vero item, and I just didn't take it down. Like, did you not see the email? He's like, no, I just was too lazy. I just forgot to take it down. I was like, okay, all right.
You sure that wasn't Jack Pittman who was in your card? Nah. He's still in fucking Nicaragua?
I mean, I think I'm subscribed to him on YouTube.
Well, I don't watch his YouTube videos, but I saw him in a grocery store. Like, he doesn't live close to where I live, but I happened to be in a grocery store close to where I thought he lived. I didn't know he was still here. And, like, I saw him, and, like, I don't have no negative. I could give a fuck, right? Like, and I tried to, like, tell him, hey, and he literally hid from me.
He, like, ducked down.
That must be so bizarre, seeing someone in a grocery store in Nicaragua. I can imagine. It's not very common.
It was so, and like I walk over and I'm like, where did he go? And then I see him ducking down, and I was just like, I just didn't even bother. I was just like, really? And then when Dropship House was going on, Roman reached out to him to get him to come, and then he was like, no, I'm too much of an emotional person to like go through anything with Mark again. I'm just like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
You scarred the kid, Mark. Come on.
Yeah, but if you can't, in my opinion, if you can't deal with my dumbass, you can't deal with entrepreneurship. Like, the fuck?
Yeah, I wasn't scarred. I wasn't scarred, so.
Right.
I had a great time.
Yeah, but this dude, but he is we have to figure that after Christmas. I had canceled Grind Camp and everything before Christmas because, like, with all these fucking accounts and shit, it's crazy. But
I'm going to Scotland next week for a week, so then I need something after that.
Like February or March. I get married in like February or March, so maybe you could come for that. I was trying to get married in December, and then like the Catholic Church here needs you to be like, okay, so I'm not a Catholic, but I have 3 uncles are Catholic priests, and one of them wants to marry us, right? So I was just like, okay, I'll go get married in the Catholic Church. So we get there, and I was baptized in the Catholic Church, but I didn't do like First Communion and confirmation shit. And like, you have to have done First Communion and confirmation to get married.
I'm out too. I couldn't even do that either.
Right. Well, I'm now doing First Communion and confirmation in Spanish.
That's a commitment.
Yeah, like I have a kid now, right? So I'm just like, you know what? Let me like
just come along with him.
No, fuck. But let me like be a responsible parent and like get married and shit. Like I've been married twice before, dude, and this needs to be like the last time.
I'd come for the wedding. I would definitely come for the wedding. That'd be fun.
So yeah, and Darius and I are finally launching this social media thing in January.
What is that?
So like, remember I had all these ideas for Grind Academy, and like a lot of what I was missing, I had all these ideas for social features and viral growth and blah, 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 but I didn't want to produce a lot of the content. And then, and Darius has like Entrepreneur Zone that has like 100 and something videos or some crazy shit. So he's just adding all the social features and ideas that I had for Grind Academy to Entrepreneur Zone, and we launch in January. And it's like, we have like a actual, and we're getting it for iOS, Android, and desktop. And like, we have yeah, dude, it's fucking crazy. Like all the social features. So we've been working that kind of in the background and not really talking about it. I think you're the first person. Yeah, I guess people on the
launched at least Entrepreneur Zone on Instagram. I think I saw
right,
that.
so he did. So he has like, and it's just like $10 a month. And that's the same type of pricing I was thinking for Grand Academy. So it just kind of fit. So all the social features in the application, the basic stuff is done. So we're just testing, and then we launch in January.
That sounds cool. I need to get into more software related things.
But yeah, because the game we play, we're not building any businesses we could sell per se, right? Like it's hard to sell an eBay account or Amazon account or whatever. But
That's one big thing about it.
yeah.
I mean, you could sell a brand. I mean, we do have a brand, but I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird. But anyway, let's do this, right? I'm going to do the next podcast that I do. This might come out in a week or two. The next podcast that I do, I'm going to review your Amazon course with my guys here that did it. Because we've done all the Amazon courses, right? Like,
if somebody says I talk too fast, I'm going to be pissed. We've been getting we got a lot of that on the eBay course that I talk too fast. So I purposely tried to slow down for the Amazon course.
Okay. So I'll review it. We'll review it in the next podcast, and then we should have another one in the future. And then you give me my opinion of your opinion of our review of your course.
You're cutting out a bit right now. Oh, there you are.
Yeah. I'm saying once we finish the review, then we'll do another podcast, and you'll give me your opinion on our review of it.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds like a plan to me.
All right, dude. Thanks for your time. And what do you think about this whole podcast thing?
I mean, it's interesting. I don't really know how it works. But I wouldn't be. It's basically, to me, it just seems like a live right now, minus the fact that there's nobody watching it. So it's kind of our own topics. But I mean, I've always thought about doing podcasts. I listen to podcasts, but I just think that I don't know. Me and Jason were thinking about like, oh, we could do a podcast together. It'd be cool. But we just we let our true self show. Not that this isn't my true self, but there could be more true self. And it could be a little bit more rough around the edges.
I don't hold back much. And two reasons we're doing the podcast. I like the whole not holding back and giving everything out. A lot of our potential clients for the done for you side of things would be more podcast listeners than YouTube viewers or whatever. A lot of it's a big investment. So that's another reason why we're doing it. And it's just a space that I think that, as I said, what we do, although in our world, a lot of people know about it, I feel like a lot of people don't know about this type of dropshipping.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of people that don't. You realize, I mean, what's the biggest eBay dropshipping or Amazon dropshipping video out there on like YouTube, which I would say would be a good estimate of how many people actually even know about it.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a single one that is even over like 250,000.
No, not at all.
I mean, I know Paul probably has one of the biggest, or Steve Rakin with Paul, but it's still like, I think 160,000 might be the most views I've seen.
And that Andre or whatever, he has one that's over 100,000 also.
Yep. That is true. So, I mean, besides that, you have to realize that's small, where even if it's Shopify dropshipping, you'll see people with 300,000 subscribers.
Yeah, I've seen Shopify videos with 500,000 views and shit.
I've seen some with 1 million, I think. So it's definitely a lot smaller of a niche, even though it's clearly the easier thing to start off doing and the more immediate of the result.
Exactly. So, but I think there's more money in teaching the Shopify because more people could fail.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of what it is. It seems like it's just a cash cow for the coaches, but.
Yep.
Anyway, dude, let me go. So look out for that. I'll send you the link to review and when this podcast comes out. So guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll put a link to eCom Tom's YouTube channel, his most recent Amazon course. And is there any last thing you want to say before you go? 2020, what do you expect from eBay?
For 2020 with eBay?
Yeah.
I mean, probably nothing that great based on the way they're headed. I really do think that probably not that much will change. I don't think that they'll really go after the file exchange like they do. They did the API. It's definitely a lot harder to be able to tell the differences, although they could definitely still tell the differences if they really wanted to get their act together and really be able to pinpoint the people that are drop shipping. I really do think that it's getting more to the point where you need to start going with a very obscure supplier or the wholesaler, and you'll still be able to make sales. It's just that you have to expect that the eBay, what I've been teaching for the last probably 6 months, is that eBay's the learning playground. That's where you're going to learn. If you first start, it's where you're going to get started. You're going to make your mistakes there. You're going to learn the ropes. Then you're going to get into Amazon. With Amazon, there's no issues in making sales on Amazon. There's no.
And that's kind of the position I took as well. You need to learn on eBay, and then you go to Amazon. Even our guy, all our Amazon account managers in the office, we hire people for eBay, and then we take some of the best eBay guys and move them to Amazon. We don't hire anyone and put them straight into Amazon.
No, I mean, you need to have a foundation with Amazon, just because, like I said, the biggest issue is not making sales. It's keeping your account metrics in great standing when you're making sales, because if you don't know what you're doing and you throw an item up, even if your account's brand new, if you throw your item up at the wrong price or something and you're extremely low, you're probably going to make the sales. And then,
exactly. And then you wake up the day after and you might have sold 40 items and lost $300.
You're losing money. Most people that get into this are getting into it because they don't have very much money, or they want to make more money. $300 loss might be detrimental to them, so they try to cancel it. Next thing you know, there goes your Amazon account within literally like 48 hours. So, I mean, there's a lot of issues that could take place with Amazon. Or eBay, I've called eBay before and I've gotten 10 defects taken off my account at once just by playing stupid.
And Amazon will never do that shit.
Can't even talk to a person on Amazon.
Because they don't give a fuck about the sellers. They give a fuck about the buyers. But if we only give a fuck about our buyers, then we'll have good results as well. So I can't blame Amazon for being that way.
Yeah, makes sense. All right. Well.
All right, dude.
I appreciate you having me on as one of the first initial guests here. Maybe I haven't been inspired to start my own. Who knows?
Yeah,
and, everybody out there that's listening, I mean, just take it day by day. You're not going to become an expert overnight. It is a learning process, and watch as many videos as possible and become a sponge. And that's what I have to say.
All right, sweet. Thanks, Tom. Hopefully I'll actually see you down here in like February or March.
Hopefully.
All right, dude.
All right.
Later.